Hello everyone, my name's Phawx. We're going to be taking a look at Wii U emulation on the GPU Win3. This is the 1165G7 version. I am using the latest public build of CEMU, which is 1.22.8. Before I show you my settings and stuff, I just wanted to quickly show you guys some of my Wii U collection. Zombie U is a game that I really wish that I had more time to play originally on the Wii U. I also need to basically just make my general Doomsday Wii U. Doomsday consoles are something that basically you jailbreak the console and then make it so that you don't have to worry about servers going offline or anything like that. You'll still be able to play it. It's completely for preservation purposes, much like emulation is in general. I don't know why I own the disc version of Mario Kart 8 because I do also have the limited edition one over here. So maybe I got that before I got that. I don't really call. Hyrule Warriors. I'm actually going to be taking a look at the other Zelda games. The other Zelda games that I have are the special edition versions of them. Insofar as Twilight Princess, well, the one that has the amiibo, the link one on there. I'm not going to be showing off this. This game is pretty interesting. This game is kind of hard to find. It's not really that rare. Captain Toad is actually a good game. I'm going to be showing that off. Mario Tennis Ultra is also a good game. Donkey Kong Country, Tropical Freeze is another game that I'm going to be showing off. Tank 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 I actually like. It's a pretty cool arcade game made by Namco and definitely has that traditional arcade feel. So I do like it. And it's a weird game because they made limited copies of them, but I didn't pay very much for them. Basically, some of the rules that I had for buying Wii U games was just that they had to be really, really inexpensive for me to pick up. So typically, a lot of the games that I got were on fire sale when no one was buying them. So even Tank Tank Tank, I bought for like $8. And they don't have that very many of them. I suspect that eventually they will start going up in price. This particular one that you see right here, this one is actually quite difficult to find. This limited edition Mario Kart 8 was sold exclusively at the Nintendo World Store in New York City. They had a limited amount of those, but I did manage to hop on over to I'm very close to the Nintendo World Store, so I just picked one up when I got it, but it's actually very hard to get that. So I just wanted to show that type of stuff off real quick before I get into it. For settings, let's go ahead and take a closer look. So for the most part, in the latest public build, I didn't really change all that much. The only thing that I've changed was switching this to Vulkan. In async shader compile, I made sure to check that. These other options I've left as default. Audio I didn't change, overlay I didn't do anything, and account and debug I did nothing. I did install a CEMU hook as well, but I really didn't change very many options in there. The only other option that I changed was like for Breath of the Wild, if you go into game profile settings, I did change this in force multi-core recompiler mode instead of auto. For everything else, I am leaving auto. The only thing worth pointing out in graphics packs, I'm only changing Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild and the FPS plus. I am changing to 60 FPS limit just because we can reach that sometimes, not all the times. But TDP is required to be pretty high to reach it, but it is rather nice to play at that frame rate. So that's pretty much it. Let's just get straight into the gameplay and then go to the conclusion of this video. Alright, so for Breath of the Wild, I do have the FPS set to a limit of 60 FPS. We don't quite hit that all the time, and it also requires a significant amount more power to achieve that. Once we do hit that, you'll see that we're actually spiking power closer to 25 watt. Now the thing to keep in mind is that you can see my CPU power over here and my GPU power right underneath it. Everything that you've seen in this emulation video so far really should have been taxing mostly on CPU first, which emulation always will require. It's always going to require CPU first before it even needs GPU, because you need to finish those instructions on emulating them before you can even worry about spending any time on the GPU. So the good thing to note here is that I haven't actually played the game yet, and with those the async shader compilation happening, you can actually see that things don't stutter nearly as much as they were used to happening previously before. I am using the latest Intel driver for March 3rd, which do include the latest Vulkan extensions that CEMU makes use of, as far as I'm aware. But even just driving through, you can see that it's not choppy at all. Now, it does stutter every now and again, but not nearly to the same degree as it once used to. It's worth pointing out that Yoshi's Woolly World does, while you can run around without any stutter, a lot of things will not be drawn properly, so you do have to wait a moment for that stuff to actually get drawn properly. So like right here is a good moment to show you that we're just waiting for this to draw. And there it goes. So with the async compute, nothing really gets stuttery as much, but in some instances you will be waiting for a considerable amount of time for, oh no, for things to get drawn. This is going to be the end of this particular look at Wii U emulation. Now, it's worth pointing out that not every Wii U game will run just fine. Obviously, emulation is not perfect, especially with regard to later gen systems. That they work at all is extremely impressive, but some games do have issues, and you are often looking for newer versions and better compatibility as time goes on. That is pretty much the only thing I wanted to say. This has been a look at Wii emulation on the GPD Win 3. This is the 1165 G7 version. As always, guys, thank you for your time, and thanks for watching.